Let's get right to Fox News' Dave Kinchin. He's live with the disturbing details. Dave, hard to hear some of the things that are alleged to have happened here.
It really is. In fact, there are details that we're just not going to share in this story because they're simply that graphic. The charges, absolutely devastating, absolutely horrific. And tonight, attorneys working the case are concerned that there might be more victims. This man, 43-year-old James Baird, a former teacher from Plymouth, is now facing major charges in connection with the alleged sexual assaults of at least 4 children under 16 years old. Investigative sources say the victims were visually impaired and that the sex assaults took place during school vision tests. Attorney Vin Johnson represents the victims' parents.
Today, thank God, Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy, thank you, Madam Prosecutor, for doing the right thing as she so often does.
Wayne County investigators say the assaults date back to January of 2018 when Baird allegedly sexually assaulted the then 10-year-old victim multiple times during a vision test. Then in March of that year over in Westland at a school on Bayview Street, prosecutors say he blindfolded the then 13-year-old victim before she was sexually assaulted. Later in May of 2019 in Garden City, an 11-year-old girl is once again blindfolded and then sexually assaulted.
You have a person, I won't call him a man, who has at least 6 incidents where 3 at Garden City, where a number of our clients are, Douglas Elementary, Livonia Public Schools hired this guy. They did not go and get the 1230-1230B form that they should have requested, and is in this day and age mandatory. You've got to do that. And had they done that and sent that to his former employer, Allegan, they'd have found out that this guy was fired by Allegan for taking pictures with high school girls.
Parents of alleged victims spoke with Fox 2 in the summer of 2021 after a lawsuit was filed saying visually impaired victims as young as just 8 years old were sexually molested at Livonia and Garden City schools.
Any person, a child, anybody to have to deal with this, it's totally unfair.
And once my baby said she was uncomfortable, he should have let her out that room. Instead, he prolonged it.
We've already taken the deposition of the Livonia superintendent, and he agrees with everything I just told you. He didn't know that. Had they done that and found out that that's what was going on, he never would have hired this man and never would have been in Garden City, Livonia, or Wayne.
Meantime, advocates who strive to protect children say there are crucial signs of possible sexual abuse that you should look for.
A loss of appetite, not wanting to engage with people, nightmares, also just they may not even want us to do their schoolwork sometimes or even go to school. And it may be some things that they just may be feeling uncomfortable about even talking to their parents or talking to anyone that loved them about that.
Baird was arraigned twice in 2 separate jurisdictions. He's back in court on February 9th. Meantime, we did reach out to Livonia schools. They say they simply cannot comment at this time. Reporting live, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Yeah, doing this to any child is just unconscionable, but to someone who's visually impaired, you can't even begin to talk about the horror of that. But you mentioned these symptoms that these young people may be feeling if they had contact with him. One of them that mental health therapists will talk about is shame. They don't want to come out. They don't want to talk about it. And so looking for those signs is critically important.
Yeah, especially if the young person, the expert we talked to tonight, said if that young person was threatened or if they're too scared to say something, that can make it even more difficult. So there are certainly ways, it's challenging, but certainly ways to reach out to young people and provide that help, no doubt about it. Very critical to get that intervention and help as soon as possible.
We certainly hope there aren't more victims, but there are. We hope that they come forward. Dave Kinchin for us live with that. Thank you.